The firefight was in full swing with ground crews and air crews hitting the mountain fire hard. But it also left several scrambling to get out of the way of the flames. The fire is getting very close to homes on this hillside behind me. You can see the helicopters and planes are doing everything they can to protect these structures. But the firefight wasn't just from the air. Watch how quickly this crew stops a spot fire from growing any larger in the area of homes. Dozens of homes scatter the hillsides in this area, with some residents, like Dale Moat, opting to stay behind.
Trying to keep from losing the house.
And protect his property.
I've been here 30 years. We've had about half a dozen. The Bear Mountain fire that went down, the Silverthorn fire, the Palisego fire that ripped through.
Another man we spoke with braved the flames to save his dogs from the oncoming fire.
Scared for these dogs. She's deaf and she's blind, and he's got issues, but they were left in the house. The house was almost, the yard was on fire, so I just went up there and I put my shoulder in the door and grabbed the dogs. I'm not gonna let them burn alive.
And with heavy winds in the area and lots of structures to protect, fire crews have their hands full.
This one came over I saw it up on the hill when I was going to town, turned around and I saw the sheriff said it was called in, came back and it was right at the top of the mountain. We got out half of everything, but couldn't get it all, so I'm just trying to save it.
Right now, about 600 acres, according to CAL FIRE, have burned in this fire. Thousands are still evacuated at this time. There are a lot of people waiting to hear exactly what's going on in this fire. So what we know, just to recap again, 600 acres, thousands are evacuated. We'll have an update on evacuations in just a moment, but things are looking much better on the front lines of this fire. Live in Redding, Spencer Joseph, Action News Now.
The mountain fire broke out in the area of Bear Mountain Road and Dry Creek Road. This is near the community of Sherman and Jones Valley to the northeast of Redding.
We do have a full interactive map of where the border of the fire is on the front page of our website, actionnewsnow.com.
PG&E shut off power to about 1,200 people in the area of the mountain fire in Shasta County, citing firefighter and customer safety.
Let's get our first check of the forecast now. Meteorologist Chris Kuiper has the conditions that the firefighters are facing. Chris?
Yeah, and what Spencer was talking about, it's very easily visible on this live shot here of the fire, which at 4:15 when I showed this, boy, we had a big puff of smoke, very dominant in the skyline here. And now, boy, you really have to look carefully. The only reason I really know the fire is here is because I remember it from 4:15 when I did weather at that time. 4:45, it was winding down, and now here a little after 5 o'clock, boy, you can hardly tell as we take, again, a live look here at the fire. And where Redding is, this is the far north end of Redding, right about here, far north end of Redding. And this is, again, over towards Jones Valley in that area back there, off to about 10 miles to the northeast of downtown Redding proper. Here's a puff of smoke earlier on this afternoon, and now notice, yeah, not much smoke coming out. We had that one little puff come out there about an hour ago or so, and now not very much, which suggests that the fire is a whole lot less active here in about the past half hour or so. All right, what's the weather conditions like on the fire lines? Well, we'll just look at Redding, which is just about 10 miles to the south, the observation site here. 100 degrees. It's hot out there. Humidity at 12%, and we have that north wind at about 8 miles an hour. Earlier today, it was gusting 10 to 25 miles an hour. It is backing down somewhat now. That trend will continue. We're looking for a 5 to 10 mile an hour north wind overnight tonight and a south wind tomorrow. I'm going to come back in a little bit. We'll track the conditions. We'll see where the fire would be heading to, and we'll talk about what kind of weather we can expect to see over the weekend when I come back in just a few.
The Shasta County Sheriff's Office ordered hundreds of people to evacuate as the mountain fire continues to grow. Action News Now reporter Elizabeth Zeledon brings us the latest on evacuation orders in place and how people out there are getting by right now. Elizabeth.
Haley, more than 38,000 people were evacuated from Jones Valley and Bella Vista this morning. Just 2 other cars just passed right now at one of the road closures as they continue to evacuate. One other is coming right now. I'll get out of the way. But right now, the Red Cross has set up an evacuation shelter at Cross Point Community Church on Hartnell Avenue in Redding for those who need a place to stay. When I first arrived, just about a dozen people were in attendance, including some students who were evacuated from Shasta College. Community members from Jones Valley I spoke with say they packed everything they could and are now just waiting to see when they could be let back in.
Packed up our car with all our animals, got as much as we could, and left. We tried to go back within an hour and all the roads are closed.
The Shasta County Sheriff's Office just released the latest road closures. Those include Highway 299 between Deschutes and Old Oregon Trail, Kitty Hawk at Bear Mountain Road at Dry Creek, Bear Mountain Road at Old Oregon Trail, and Old Oregon Trail at Oasis. And as I mentioned earlier, I am on Old Oregon Trail and Bear Mountain Road, so you can see that road closure as people are leaving. No one's allowed in, and we'll keep you updated with the latest on those evacuations on our show at 6 o'clock. Reporting live at the mountain fire, Elizabeth Celidon, Action News Now.
Elizabeth, thank you. Here's a full map of the areas under evacuation order right now. We also have a detailed list on our website, actionnewsnow.com. The Red Cross is serving up dinner to evacuees at the Cross Point Community Church tonight.
Back into conditions around the mountain fire just off to the northeast of Redding towards Jones Valley in that area there. Here's the fire. Here's the latest live look at the fire here from alertwildfire.org cameras. And this is the far north side of Redding here. So we're kind of looking off towards the northeast of Redding at the fire here, not too far from Shasta Lake.
Interrupting programming for a very brief update on the mountain fire burning in Shasta County. The fire remains officially at 600 acres, and it is now 20% contained. An earlier tweet from the sheriff's office indicated that the fire had grown to 820 acres. That turned out to be incorrect. It's 600, again 20% contained. It is still officially threatening 1,100 homes. At least one home has been destroyed. Now, the fire broke out at 11 this morning. There are no reports of injuries. For all the latest information, go to actionnewsnow.com and click on the mountain fire story pinned at the top of the website. We will be back in 30 minutes with the very latest unless something major happens between now and then. Now back to programming.